Riley barged into the office as she placed the divorce papers on Adam Brady's desk. But they weren't hers to sign. They were his. She watched his jaw tighten as he stared at the documents, his wedding ring catching the morning light. For 2 years, she'd been his personal assistant. For 2 years, she'd been in love with a married man. And today, everything was about to change. Riley closed the door. His voice was different, strained. She'd heard him negotiate million-dollar deals without a tremor. But those 4 words shook. Her heels clicked against the marble floor as she pulled the door shut, sealing them in his corner office 40 stories above Miami. The city sprawled beneath them, indifferent to the moment unraveling inside. "I need you to witness my signature," he said, not meeting her eyes. He never met her eyes anymore. Not since that night 6 months ago when they'd worked late and she'd leaned too close, and he'd pulled back like she'd burned him. Riley moved closer, close enough to smell his cologne, that scent that haunted her even in sleep. "Mr. Brady, are you certain?" "Don't." His hand slammed on the desk, making her jump. "Don't call me that. Not today." The silence stretched between them like a living thing. She'd perfected the art of loving him quietly, of hiding every flutter of her heart when he rolled up his sleeves, every spike of jealousy when his wife called. But his wife was leaving him. The papers said irreconcilable differences. Riley knew the truth. Catherine Brady had fallen in love with someone else. "Adam," she whispered, testing his name on her tongue. She never used it, never allowed herself that intimacy. His eyes finally lifted to hers, and the naked pain there nearly broke her. "I'm signing them. Witness it." She watched his hand move across the paper, bold and decisive, ending a 10-year marriage in seconds. When he finished, he stood abruptly, walking to the floor-to-ceiling windows. His reflection stared back at him, a ghost against the skyline. "You should go home," he said to the glass. "It's 10 in the morning. Then go anywhere. Just go." Riley's throat tightened. She'd comforted him through business failures, through his father's death, through countless crises. But she'd never seen him like this, untethered, lost. And the worst part was knowing she couldn't hold him, couldn't press her hand to his chest and promise him it would be okay. "I'm not leaving you like this," she said firmly. He spun around, and suddenly he was crossing the space between them, closing the distance until she could count his heartbeats. "You should. You really should, Riley." "Why?" The word barely made it past her lips. "Because I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to do the right thing." His hand lifted, hovering near her face but not touching. "I've been trying for 2 years." The world tilted. "What? You think I don't notice?" His voice dropped to something raw, dangerous. "You think I don't feel it every time you walk into a room? Every time you hand me coffee and our fingers touch? Every goddamn day I tell myself you're off limits, that you deserve better than a broken man twice your age. You're 38, she breathed, and you're 26. You're my employee, and until 20 minutes ago I was married." He stepped back, running his hands through his dark hair. "This is exactly why you need to leave." But Riley's heart was hammering too hard, hope and terror warring in her chest. "What if I don't want to? Don't do this." "Do what?" "Tell you the truth." 2 years of suppressed longing broke through her carefully maintained walls. "You want to know why I've stayed? Why I've turned down 6 job offers with better pay? It's not the benefits, Adam." His eyes darkened. "Riley, I love you." The words hung in the air between them, impossible to take back. "I've loved you since the day you stayed up all night helping me fix my mistake on the Henderson account. Since you remembered I hate roses and sent me orchids on my birthday. Since you looked at me like I was the only person in the world who understood you." "Stop." But he didn't move away. "You want me to stop? Fine. Fire me. Because that's the only way I'm walking out that door." Adam stared at her, chest heaving, a war raging behind his eyes. Then his control shattered. He closed the distance in one stride, his hands framing her face, and kissed her like a drowning man finding air. Riley gasped against his mouth, her fingers clutching his suit jacket, 2 years of yearning igniting into something that burned away every thought except his name. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against hers, both of them breathing hard. "This is insane," he whispered. "I know. You work for me. I know. People will talk. They'll say terrible things about you, about us. Let them." Riley's hands slid up his chest, feeling his heart racing as fast as hers. "I'm tired of pretending. Aren't you?" His thumb traced her bottom lip, a touch so gentle it made her ache. "I've been pretending since the day you walked into my office wearing that blue dress, stumbling over your introduction. I knew right then I was in trouble. You were married. I was married to someone who stopped loving me years ago. We were business partners pretending to be husband and wife." He exhaled shakily. "But that's not an excuse. I should have ended it sooner. I should have." Riley kissed him again, softer this time, silencing his guilt. "You're ending it now. That's what matters." Adam pulled her closer, his hands spanning her waist, and for the first time in 2 years, Riley let herself feel everything she'd locked away. The want, the need, the devastating relief of finally being held by the man she'd loved in silence. "We have to be smart about this," he murmured against her hair. "The divorce won't be final for months. If Catherine finds out, she could make this ugly." Reality crept back in, cold and unwelcome. Riley nodded against his chest, listening to his heartbeat. "So what do we do?" "We wait. We're careful." He tilted her chin up, his gray eyes intense. "And you need to know what you're signing up for. The press, the office gossip, my ex-wife's lawyers. It's going to be hell. I don't care. You will when they print photos of us with headlines calling you a homewrecker. When your family asks questions. When your friends warn you I'm too old, too damaged, too complicated." Riley's hand pressed over his heart. "Do you want this? Want me?" "Riley, I've wanted nothing else for 2 years. But wanting and having are different things. I need you to be sure." "I've never been more sure of anything." Something fierce and possessive flashed in his eyes. He kissed her again, harder this time, like he was branding her soul. When they finally broke apart, both were shaking. Adam stepped back, adjusting his tie with trembling fingers, rebuilding his composure brick by brick. "Okay, here's what happens. Today, nothing changes publicly. You're still my assistant. I'm still your boss. We maintain absolute professionalism at the office. And privately?" A slow smile crossed his face, transforming him. "Privately, Riley Watson, I'm taking you to dinner. Somewhere dark and quiet where I can actually talk to you without worrying about who's watching." Her heart soared. "When?" "Tonight. 7 o'clock. I'll pick you up." The rest of the day was torture. Riley fielded calls, organized meetings, prepared reports, all while hyper-aware of Adam's presence across the office. Every glance they exchanged felt electric. When he asked her to take notes in a conference call, his fingers brushed hers as he handed her a pen, and she nearly forgot how to write. At 6:30, Riley stood in her apartment, changing outfits for the 5th time. Her phone buzzed. "Wear the green dress. The one from the charity gala last year. I haven't stopped thinking about you in it." She stared at the message, heat flooding her cheeks. He'd noticed. He'd remembered. She pulled the emerald silk from her closet with shaking hands. When Adam knocked at 7 sharp, Riley's breath caught. He'd changed from his suit into dark jeans and a black sweater that made his eyes look like storm clouds. He held a single orchid. "You remembered," she whispered, taking the flower. "I remember everything about you, Riley. That's been the problem." The restaurant was intimate, tucked away in the village where shadows pooled between candlelight. They sat across from each other, knees touching under the table, and for the first time, they talked without barriers. Adam told her about his marriage, how it had been arranged by their families, how he tried to make it work, how loneliness had become his constant companion until a bright-eyed girl stumbled into his office and made him laugh for the first time in years. Riley confessed her own truths, how she'd taken the job hoping to learn from the best, never expecting to fall, how she'd dated other men, trying desperately to move on, but every kiss felt wrong because they weren't him, how she'd almost quit a dozen times because staying hurt too much. Why didn't you? Adam asked, his hand covering hers on the table. Because 10 minutes with you was better than a lifetime with anyone else. His grip tightened. I don't deserve you. That's not your decision to make. They stayed and memorizing each other. When Adam walked her to her door, he cupped her face with both hands, his thumbs stroking her cheekbones. I need to tell you something, he said seriously. This won't be easy. There will be days you hate me, days you question everything. My divorce will get messy. The power dynamic at work is complicated. We're going to face opposition from every direction. I know, but I promise you this. I will fight for you, for us, every single day. His voice roughened with emotion. You've been standing at my side for 2 years, Riley. I want you beside me for the rest of my life. Tears blurred her vision. That's a big promise for a first date. I've loved you too long to waste time on anything less than forever. He kissed her goodnight with aching tenderness, a promise of everything to come. As Riley closed her door, she pressed her fingers to her lips, smiling through happy tears. The road ahead wouldn't be simple. People would judge, criticize, condemn. But for the first time in 2 years, she wasn't alone in her longing. Some temptations refused to be ignored. Some lines, once crossed, change everything. And some loves are worth fighting for, no matter the cost. Riley had spent 2 years loving Adam Brady in silence. Now, she'd spend the rest of her life loving him out loud. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Urbanfolks TV for more emotional stories that will make you believe in love again. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever loved someone you thought was out of reach? Share your story with our community. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our next upload. Thank you for watching, and remember, true love is always worth the wait.